All right, we're live.
We're live from
live.
day, what is it now?
Day
I'm losing
three.
track of
Day
days.
3 or day 4 of DevReach. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, people. Thanks for joining us here at Code It Live, wherever you might be. Ed and me are starting things off here, but we have a lot to unpack on this stream. So let's introduce ourselves. You are?
Ed Charbeneau, Principal Developer Advocate.
Yeah, and I'm Sam Basu, also a dev advocate. Ed and me are mostly on the .NET side of tooling, but we will have a lot more to cover on the JavaScript side. We have a lot to unpack on this stream. We are live, and we have, we are doing charity work. We are doing covering a release that's going out. So just a lot going on today.
Yeah. So what you all can't see is behind the stage here, we've got folks packing school supplies in bags, drinking mimosas, having breakfast. There's all sorts of things happening, and we've got some good charities that we're supporting this morning, right, Sam?
Yes, but let's also unpack like what we have been up to. So we are here at Progress360. This is day 4. We started actually on Sunday of this past week. We had a full day of workshops. Then we had 2 solid days of content from speakers from all around the world. And today is the 4th day, and all we are doing here is trying to raise our hand and try to help out a little bit for a good cause.
Yeah.
And we are doing a bunch of things to help out local schools and some charities. So I'm going to rattle off a few things that we are trying to do here. AnitaB.org gets a big donation from us. We are trying to help out. Kids in Tech, that's an organization with 330 students that are close to Boston. We are live from our global HQ in Boston area here, and they have an after-school STEM program, and we are trying to help them out with about 20 iPads because kids learn wonderfully well with iPads.
Yeah, a lot of the schools too, they have the integration with the iPads.
Yes.
So they have we call it like a centrally managed thing that the iPads can plug into. At least most schools do. I don't know if this one particularly does, but I know my kids in their school they use the Google Classroom, but I know Apple has a similar product that they deploy to all the iPads. It's a really nice way to get the kids, all the books they need and all the resources, internet, things like that. So they can learn better.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, like had the backpack full of I remember my history book was like this thick, Now the kids are lucky; they got like an iPad or a Chromebook that does everything. So they're getting some iPads.
Oh yeah, and our kids' school does the same thing. Like your courseware, everything is nicely integrated. So while we're speaking, I do see our chat room filling up here.
Absolutely.
Hello, Nabam. Good to see you. He posted a picture the other day of watching our stream from a giant TV that was in the living room, which was really fabulous to see, and a little embarrassing. Like our screens and our faces are that big. I hope we can do justice to a TV. Let's see what else. Oh, and look at that. Aztec Consulting is somewhere in the world. Do you know where he might be?
Why don't you come over and just wave hi to everybody? He's right here with us.
Turns out he's standing right in front of us. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Aztec Consulting, also AKA Jeff, in the real world. How are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. Having a great show. It's been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. So, it's been wonderful to spend some time with you guys.
Yeah. No, it's been,
What brought you here?
You know what? Honestly, it started with your live stream and just following what you guys were doing and seeing what all was going on, learning some of the new technology because I've been using it myself in some production applications. And then there was a live stream that you guys did when you were tooling up for the conference, and we're talking about everything. And I looked into winning a ticket. And I'm like, well, I should go and see everybody. So, it's been really good, really great opportunity.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah,
we're glad you're
definitely glad you came.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And this is as much as a tech company as we are, as much as maybe nerdy we think we are. Software industry is a people business, so it's all about the connections we make and the friends we have. Technologies and frameworks will come and go. It's the humans that stay with you.
Yeah, and the stories. We have so many stories.
We do. All right. Trombo, Enel, if I'm saying that Netherlands, maybe?
Yeah, I guess. Netherlands.
Good
Is that Netherlands? I bet.
Yeah. Oh, greetings from Bulgaria. Hello, perhaps
Wow.
Velman. Yeah, hello.
Zdrasty.
Yeah, we have quite a few of our folks. So our Telerik Kendo UI Fiddler, a lot of our products and their engineering is in Sofia, Bulgaria, which is a beautiful city. Ed and me just love being in Sofia. So a lot of their folks are here actually with us. You might see some of them, swing by. And also, while we are doing this, like Ed and me are at a little podium here. We are in a corner. We have a TV behind us, but there is a whole bunch of folks in front of us, and they are doing stuff where they're packing things into bags for this, the kids in school. So at some point, we're going to have folks just follow you around a little bit with handheld cameras, and then we'll show you what all of the other folks are up to.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have people from all over. Hello. Oh, Alan. Hey, Alan. Alan is actually close by to me. So I live very up north in the United States, almost, right by Canada. I think Alan isn't from. Where are you from? Is it Ottawa or is it Toronto? Maybe. He's relatively close to me. So good to see you here.
Been over to Toronto?
Yes.
It's nice.
It is really nice.
It's been years, but I want to go back. It's great.
So Netherlands. Some of us will actually be in Netherlands. I think 2 weeks from now. There's a big conference called Techorama happening. Looking forward to that.
You missed Arkansas.
Oh, where's that?
Right here.
Oh,
Good morning from Arkansas.
Hello, RC Flyer. Good morning. It's early morning for you. It's good for you. Good for you. Aztec is still here. We are not pros. We are complete goofballs. We're just trying to pretend that we know what we are doing.
It was fun though to have somebody from chat that's followed us for a long time, come on the show for a moment and say hello to everybody.
Absolutely. And I am very, very embarrassed with this, but Aztec Consulting walked up to us on the first day and I drew a blank on his first name because our screen names are just so popular. We just know him as Aztec.
Shame on you. I recognize him with the mask on and everything.
And Alan isn't from Toronto. Yeah. All right. Ed, we also have a tiny thing called the release today actually. And as we speak, Progress is a big portfolio of products, but even within Progress, like Ed and me work on the developer tooling side of the company. And even that is, a combination of 20 to 25 different products, and all of the PMs, all of the engineers and QAs and people who put our content up live and put the product bits out, they are working nonstop and they are starting to flick the switches right about now.
Yeah, I heard we've released I think 4 out of 6 portfolios.
Yeah.
So we've got kind of groups of things. So we've got Telerik UI in DevCraft. So there's bundles that have many different libraries and things in them. So the DevCraft bundle has Telerik UI for pretty much everything.
All of the .NET stuff.
All of the .NET stuff, all the Kendo UI stuff. There's, depending on the level of DevCraft, there's some Test Studio in there. And then, of course, there's a lot of the things that have free tiers as well. So you've got JustMock Lite and then JustMock Pro.
Yep.
And there's, Fiddler Classic is out there. We've got some new Fiddler Everywhere stuff dropping. Mm-hmm. It's just a whole lot of things.
Yeah. Now, normally we do 3 big releases every year, and then we do service packs in between. And it's hard to align every product to have the release at the same time. Sometimes they fall a little bit in between. And the Telerik and the Kendo UI stuff always goes together. But this time around, we actually have Fiddler and Test Studio release kind of aligning with us. Yeah. So it's a nice way to just get everything out.
We have a brand new baby too. Something
baby?
That's
like a real baby?
Not a real baby. No, baby in a what do you call it?
A tech baby?
Yeah, tech baby.
Okay.
Theme Builder Pro.
Okay, do tell. I have used Theme Builder.
Okay. So Theme Builder is something that hopefully all of you have touched at some point.
No, do tell for folks who haven't.
Okay. So Theme Builder is a tool that we use to theme all of the Kendo UI and the Telerik web UIs.
So pretty much all web stuff.
All the jQuery based stuff, everything except for web forms, basically.
Okay.
So all the web stuff, but web forms. So Telerik UI for Ajax has a whole suite of themes already. The rest of those products Kendo UI, Telerik UI for all the other things, has Theme Builder. And you can take a couple base themes. We've got the material theme, the default Telerik theme, the Bootstrap theme, a brand new one that came with this release, which is the Fluent UI from Microsoft, their design system. That is in there as well. But you can take Theme Builder and kind of just use little switches and drag and drop some colors.
So you can see, like, as you're customizing a theme, you can kind of see how each of the controls look like.
So you've got a GUI on one side and like the output of all the components that we have on the other. Change the colors, modify the theme, see it in real time. That's Theme Builder.
Now, what comes out of it? Is it like CSS or Sass or
It's a great question. CSS comes out. You can also export Sass. What's interesting about the Sass bit is that it only really gives you the properties that it's changed, the color values. So it's a lot smaller of a file. You plug that into your build system, and it adapts all of the colors to our theme. And if you're using the Bootstrap framework and the Bootstrap Telerik theme, it will theme both of those at the same time.
Oh, nice.
There's some nice mappings in there that's like, oh, you're using Bootstrap. You probably want to color those buttons and things too. And it'll adapt all of it.
That's nice. Now, this, like, the web kids have so much of the cool tooling. So I'm going to pull up here Alan. So Alan and me are old, and we do XAML. Like, we have been hearing this term, like, are you allergic to XAML? You don't need to be allergic. It's not that bad. So, we can also take CSS and style XAML, although you're going to be like amongst the 2 people in the world who try doing that, but you could.
Square peg round hole.
Yeah, it's not the same. But you can actually mix and match. And
I like my hammer.
I know. But you can actually bring your hammer nowadays with Blazor and kind of playing into Blazor Hybrid and .NET MAUI. All of your web styles can now be shared between desktop and mobile, which is a great story. And now speaking of Toronto, I just wanted to pull up one more thing here that Aztec said that I had no idea, and I've been to Toronto several times. There's a big underground. So we are in Boston, which is in a city I love. It's like great weather, except for a couple of months, maybe in the wintertime. But you see all 4 seasons, and Boston has a beautiful skyline. But I have not known about an underground downtown. This is interesting.
I've been there. I have no idea, but I was a kid, so I have been like across like the Detroit area too. I grew up in Detroit, so we used to go over to Canada all the time.
Is it because like it's cold to be out? Maybe in the wintertime?
That could be. Yeah. Theme Builder Pro, though, we didn't get into the actual like pro part.
Okay.
So that was all the free stuff.
All right.
We have new Prodigal Theme Builder Pro. I believe the introductory price is like $100 around there. It's not something that's terribly expensive. It's an affordable product, but it dives way deeper into the themeability aspect of all of those things. So you get this granular control. It's more for people that are design professionals that want to get in there and really make this design system out of the stuff that we already provide. So
now you're talking like bridging the developer design gap essentially with the design system. Okay.
So we have Figma Kits. You can get those, and your designers can make adjustments to our themes using the Figma Kits visually, get that the way they want it to look, and then you can work together with Theme Builder Pro with your designers, developers, get in there and like turn the the switches and knobs on the real granular stuff on all the components. Maybe you want to adjust something that's in the pager of the grid, that type of thing. You can really get in there with Theme Builder Pro and do all that stuff, and it gives you another way to tackle theming. We have such a gradient of things that, it's like a good pun right there, by the way, of things that you can use to theme our components. Like you can do it through just code, right?
Right.
You can do it through Sass. You can do it through CSS. You can do it through parameters on the components themselves. So the Telerik UI for Blazor and some of the other modern UI stuff, if you have a button, there's themability options right on the properties of the button. You can say, I want this button to be a rounded button. And that's something that you can just do with a property. You don't have to know CSS to do that.
Right.
But then if you have design folks, you start getting into the other spectrum of that gradient, and you can bring design people in and use things like Theme Builder, use Theme Builder Pro, or just go full on SaaS. Whatever type of design system and tooling gets you to the theme that you want, we have something for it.
Yeah, no, that's really good because, we need to have the tools to make our apps look good without having the eye for design, which our good friend Catherine is going to scold me for that. But aesthetics is maybe not something we all have, but we can work with designers if we do have designers in house, and try to make our apps look kind of in line with what the designers have started off, and you're giving us a good starting point.
Don't let Sam play possum with you. He's like, oh, I don't know design stuff. This guy dresses so sharp. You should see him all week here at the event. These shirts he's got. Yeah, he knows design. It's just it's not web design, but it's Come on.
Also, folks, just to kind of set expectations, we are very intentionally not pulling up code or things to show you. Because we are, today is just a day where we are, sharing the news of what's out, and then we are also trying to help some charitable causes. If you want to kind of see all of this in action, what we're talking about, on the website, desktop, mobile, and all of the productivity tools, that's all coming up next week. Yeah. We are doing a series of, webinars. I think we have webinars every 5 days of the week, and we're going to unpack everything that we put into this release next week.
So if you want to see code, I know it's hard, one thing in particular, it's hard to see what's going on up here. Yeah. But if you want to see code, if you go to telerik.com, I know you can see a yellow bar up here.
Yep.
Go onto that yellow bar, click on the sign up button or the sign up text, and that will link you off to the webinar page.
Everything that's happening next week.
Then you'll see some code next week.
Yeah.
We'll dive into the bits. We'll do some demos live.
Yeah. But let's try to maybe unpack a couple things that we can share, because as we speak, the announcement posts are starting to go live. So let me talk about the desktop and the mobile side of the story, which nowadays it's kind of nice and combined because we have Xamarin, we have Xamarin, we have .NET MAUI. We are putting in quite a few brand new controls into this release. So we have expander and autocomplete and new functionality on so many different controls, like the data grid in particular. And this is something really unique. I mean, if folks have used Telerik UI, which is most of the .NET stuff, we have always had UI that is for WinForms or WPF, or we have had UI for Xamarin, or might I say Silverlight, or all of the things, right? And we still actually maintain Silverlight, our component suites. But .NET MAUI, for the first time, is giving us an opportunity to give you folks a grid or a chart or any of the components that we have that works on both desktop and mobile.
Nice.
And that is not an easy thing to pull off.
It's not.
Yeah, and even though the .NET MAUI and kind of Blazor is also welcome, even though it welcomes you having a single code base, which is one of the big benefits. It's a true shared resources, shared single code base that works on both desktop and native, mobile. While that is great, you don't want the same experiences because these are very, very different form factors. You have a bigger surface area. You need touch friendliness on mobile. So we are trying to cater to different experiences with the same controls. So our grid, when you render it on Windows or Mac, looks a little different compared to when you render the same exact grid on iOS or Android. And developers don't need to do anything. It just comes free out of the box.
So expand on something for me, Sam.
All right.
We use different, this is a pun, by the way. We have different
Expander.
terminologies from the web to desktop. Sometimes we'll have the same exact component or built-in feature even. So for example, a stack panel in XAML is the flexbox in the web. Yeah. Stack panel, flexbox. So what's an expander? Is this something I already know and I'm just calling it something different?
You do know. So anytime you have panels that open or collapse, either horizontally or vertically, that's an expander.
Okay. So I don't know what we call those on different products. Generally on the, I think the bootstrappy stuff, those are accordions.
Accordions, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly
an
right.
Accordion, expander.
They're about the same.
Yeah.
And the web and the native platform they share a lot of ideas. Like we have Flex as well, especially like for Xamarin and .NET MAUI. So we are inspired by CSS
I've
a
seen
little
some
bit.
of the terminology starting to change more web-like.
So and then we are sharing code so much between web, desktop, and mobile. So it's a good spot to be. Now, having said that, with .NET MAUI, that's all looking ahead. Maybe that's the latest bleeding edge things. But we also don't forget what we stand on, and that's a lot of enterprise apps who run their businesses every day. With desktop applications. So WinForms and WPF, they get a lot of love from us every release. We are adding new components to these suites, which are, think about the WinForms suite. It's about 20 years old. And this blows my mind that you can take a WinForms app that you may have started in 2002, and you can still run it on .NET 6 today and .NET 7 and .NET 8. And we'll keep you giving you more UI.
Handlebars. I don't know if I've heard handlebars before.
Yeah, maybe accordion is the closer thing, but I haven't heard handlebars either.
We've got.
Oh, I think I know who this is. Telerik Kalin, because it might be our good friend Kalin Todorov here. Kalin and the teams, and we stand on the shoulder of giants here. These are the engineers who actually make things happen. Kalin is responsible for a lot of our desktop tooling. WPF and UWP and WinUI. So good to see our continued investments into desktop, because that's here to stay.
And what's compatibility like with Telerik UI for MAUI? Is that .NET 6? Is it is there anything for Visual Studio that we have?
Oh yes. All right. So .NET MAUI runs on .NET 6. That's kind of our stable platform since November of last year. So everything we do with .NET MAUI runs on top of .NET 6 and .NET 7 and 8. But we have done quite a bit of things. So .NET MAUI as a platform was out as GA, like general availability, May of this year, May of 2022. But tooling was still playing catch up. So in August of 2022, we had a focus on .NET MAUI, .NET Conf event, and Visual Studio on Windows is done. So VS 2022 17.3 is done. So it's formal controls that are tooling support in Visual Studio for Windows. Mac is still in preview. Hopefully, and most likely, it's coming by November timeframe when we have .NET 7. But since we have Visual Studio now, which is done tooling wise, we can actually light up a few more things. Sure, you can get our controls anyhow you want. Just to include our UI, you can bring in like a NuGet package and be done with it. But if you would rather have a little bit of help, then we can integrate inside of Visual Studio. We can give you templates to kind of get you started. We can give you a toolbox. So you have all of the UI that we make kind of right there available for you. And we are working on more things where most mobile apps or even desktop apps end up having some common things. Like you need a logging screen, you need a list of things that you want to show. So for those, we want to give you a template that kind of helps developers get started on a good note.
Nice. We have similar things in Telerik UI for Blazor. So if you install the extension for Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code for Telerik UI for Blazor, you get templates, snippets, code snippets. So you can type Telerik, tab, and boom, you got components. There's scaffolding in there, so you get scaffold out components. Maybe you've got a data grid and you don't know what all the features are. You can pull up the scaffolder and like turn switches on and off, and enable sorting, filtering, and all of that stuff. And then it will just output the code for the data grid. So there's some code generation tools in there.
Oh, nice.
When you're doing a new project, you can select your theme. So there's a theme chooser in that process. There's an upgrade option. So if you've started a Blazor project and you're like, all right, it's time to refactor. Maybe we wrote our own data grid. It's not the greatest thing. We need to add, sorting and filtering and advanced features to it. Let's get the Telerik stuff and upgrade our project. You click a button, the wizard goes through and adds all of the dependencies for the Telerik UI for Blazor, converts the app over to a Telerik app, drop the grid in, delete your old code, and there you go. You're off and running.
That's good to know. We're actually seeing a few of our friends come by, and I wanted to see if they wanted to come in and heckle us and join us. A famous face, like folks that you see all the time. Come on in.
Come say hi, Meow.
Meow.
There you go.
It's our favorite cat lady.
What are we talking about?
You didn't bring your friends. You didn't bring your friends that
They're
you met at the
asleep.
conference.
They're cats. They sleep all day.
All right. Hello, Internet. This is the famous Layla Porter. Layla has joined us from UK. And
Yes.
it's
Well, actually, I'm here in Boston.
You're now
Well,
here in
the
Boston.
UK. Yes.
Has it been fun for you?
It has. It's been tiring. My jet lag has been really bad. So, yeah, I'm just starting to adjust now.
And it's almost time for you to go home while you're
Yes.
adjusting to the time.
Typical.
Yeah.
So, what have we been talking about? I just realized that I'm live on air and I haven't brushed my hair.
Oh, you're good.
Nothing new there, then, is there?
We don't have the fancy 3D animated studio. I'm sorry, we don't have.
Nepam is here. You know what I should do? We have been talking about maybe having a little headband or something. So it's like a green screen halo. So no matter where I go, I can have my green screen. That would be cool.
What are you doing with that?
We can fix anything you need.
Oh wow. Okay.
You can fix my hair.
Shall we?
No.
That's too much trouble.
Right, I shall slink off.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye, Layla.
Thank you, Leila. Thank you. Yeah.
I think I scared her away.
You did. That was a little. Yeah. Let's just keep it to what it was. All right. So the web stuff, is it just Blazor, or are you doing anything else as well?
We've got some new stuff for Telerik UI for MVC. We've always released new stuff for all of our web UI products during these releases. But for Telerik UI, for ASP, NET MVC, and Core, we've got a new signature component.
Yes.
So it's going to help you with processing documents that require signature, that sort of thing. Drop-down button, a split button. Of course, we talked about that new Fluent theme.
Nice. Yep.
So if your shop is a very heavy Microsoft shop, so you have apps that are, say, in SharePoint, you've got a lot of Teams, you've got what office doesn't use Microsoft Office 365 these days? You want that same look and feel of all those products in your own product. So, you've got that same design system Microsoft's using, then you just flip on our brand new Fluent UI theme, and you can look like those apps that you already have. That helps your users get, acquainted with the new, or with your custom software. It feels right there at home with the rest of the Microsoft stuff you're using.
We have folks who are starting to line up so they can pack, school bags for kids. But maybe we got a few more minutes while we have a moving camera that follows you around. One thing I did want to bring up, and we talk about all of the UI, every release. But one thing I don't think we talk enough about, and that's something actually, customers, when we are back to in-person conferences, they always come up to us and tell us. In fact, Aztec was just telling me, we have a set of libraries called document processing.
Yes.
Which do everything under the sun for PDF, for Word docs, for Excel, and you get programmatic access to build all of it and manipulate that in memory. And that's a standard .NET library. So the benefit of that is it just works on everything that we do. All of the web stuff, all of the desktop, mobile stuff, it's just the same library that lights up, the same type of things on every platform. And we are getting... Say hi, Internet, to
it's over there. I'm like staring
to the famous.
Hi, Cody Live. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm not sure what Ed
anything?
is trying to do with the tape.
I just like it as
Little.
It's actually gorgeous. I feel like we should all
I
embrace
feel like there's
the tape.
something there.
Never mind, Internet.
We're missing an
the
opportunity.
spooky old man. Just never mind him with the tape. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Are you old?
This is the spooky tape. This is the spooky tape.
I don't think black duct tape is very spooky, and there's no way you can even handle
Let me see your wrists.
Nepam says, "Hey, Alyssa."
Hey, Mom! Hi! We've got some really fun stuff. So, are you all? Can you rap?
See,
Yeah,
Robert
absolutely.
Tables is calling
Ed
me
is
out.
switching the big tape this
Stop
morning.
with the tape.
Big
Stop
tape
with the
agenda.
tape. All right, Alyssa's kicking me
I'm kicking him
out.
off.
Yeah. All right.
Get
But folks, this was great to start us off. Hopefully, and we're gonna have a lot more fun. So, Alyssa, why don't you get in my hot seat?
Goodbye forever.
Yep. And I'll see you on the other side.
Hello, darling. It's just me and you again, the way you wanted it, I'm quite sure. Catherine! Are you sitting or standing?
I'm going to sit.
Sit? Okay.
Let me Carl stand.
So we've got a really special thing planned. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, she's ready. We've got this wonderful woman behind the scenes called Cindy. 10 out of 10. Would Cindy again, for sure. How are you all? Hey, bringing back Geek Fridays.
Yeah.
Are we, wait, what does that mean? Explain.
I think just that we're on camera together for the first time since we did a Fantasy Friday.
Oh, wait. I forgot.
I'm gonna slide in.
Come in. I
Yeah.
kind of want to, can you do this and then I'll do this?
Oh, you can.
I just don't feel comfy with this.
Oh, I
the
came
this.
in
The this?
with the orange juice here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here, that's right. I got us because we're doing mimosas and a mission.
Mimosas on a mission, and it's super exciting. Okay, Prost.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This is our charity. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually drink it.
And like I was told by one of my friends who's French, she was like, "You have to look me in the eyes when you toast me," and I was like,
Oh.
"Yeah, like,
Yeah.
It's a thing, right?"
Yeah,
know,
especially with our Bulgarian colleagues.
Yeah.
Um,
Come
it's
here.
very big,
I
you
want
know,
you to
you
verify.
look me in
Can
the
you
eyes.
verify?
Yeah.
I need some real proof.
Yeah.
You gotta make eye contact. Yeah.
So mimosas with a mission. Tell us about that, Catherine.
So what we are doing today is actually really incredible. We have had so many donations as well as things that we have put together as well. School supplies for kids that really need our help. Here we've got kind of a live look at
Oh yeah,
what's
there it is.
going on.
They're walking through the line and they are putting together 100 bags for the local children's here in Boston. So they're going to bring them to the schools after this.
Yeah, so we are supporting our sister's school, which is a school for economically disadvantaged young girls. So we're going to pack 100 bags today of supplies, and we're going to have a little fun doing it.
You should have seen us counting pencils. It was glorious. It was glorious. We were all gathered around the table. It was me, Catherine, Layla Coates was there,
Yeah.
Lebo was there, and we were all just like, oh, and Luce Carter. And we were all like, pencils. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Hey, Aztec, you want to come say hi?
Yeah,
He's
jump on
here
Storm
with the
us.
mimosas, helping pack bags, and he's been amazing. It's been honestly really cool having a Code It Live friend join us.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. So thank you for being here, man.
Hey, it's been great. It's been good. It's been fun to hang out and just see what's going on. Learning so much this week. It's been great.
My goal. I shall be joining the mission in a few minutes.
We got some folks jumping
come
in.
back. Yeah.
I love this one that just says, Carl knows.
Yeah, you know things, right?
Yeah.
Drinking
But
and
about,
things.
I'm drinking and I know things. Yeah. You gotta stare into your friend's soul when
The
you're
soul.
cheersing.
And I was like, this is a really intense way to do this because I usually am just watching out for my cup. You know, don't break the cup.
Yeah.
Don't spill the cup. So
You eventually you learn the balance of I kind of know where my glass is and where people's eyes are.
Where the glasses matters less, the more of them you do.
Yeah. But also just don't go too hard. I learned that
Oh,
lesson the
right.
hard way.
Did you break one?
Yes, one time. There may have been previous drinking involved. I cannot confirm nor deny that. But I went into Cheers and I went a little bit too hard. So when I drank out of the glass, a sliver of the glass hit the bridge of my nose. So I cracked a big pint glass. I cracked it.
And did it just
once
go?
cheersing.
Like did it?
No. And no glass in my mouth or anything. It was just this perfect sliver. Just as I was drinking, just hit the top of my nose.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So that's when I learned don't go too hard on the cheersing.
On the
when
cheersing.
you're distracted by
Yeah.
looking someone in the eye.
Honestly, this is such a cool thing. I love that we're getting a live feed of part of the room, and I'm just so. This whole DevReach it's been great to be back in person, but it's been really humbling and honoring to have so many amazing people who are pouring into the community come and be part of this. And I don't know, I'm just so proud of our community and really honored to be part of it.
No, this even just at DevReach, beyond just this, we've done a lot of really good charity work.
Oh yeah.
We, as Progress, made a $25,000 donation to the Anita B. Org Foundation yesterday
That's
as
awesome.
part of.
Local
I think you got to
folks
see, right? Yeah, if we were watching the live stream, you might have seen Yogesh hand over that big old check.
That's awesome.
I wish it was one of those really.
What, it
big,
wasn't?
like,
No,
it was a regular
It was an
album.
actual
I was like,
check.
I missed the big
No,
one.
it was
Yeah.
not actually like a,
Yeah.
what is that, like publishers, something?
Clearinghouse.
So yeah, no, we've done that. We're donating iPads to another school. We are also supporting the Leia Project, which is 40 high school students, a STEM program for BIPOC.
Nice.
We've got yeah, it just all across the board, we've been doing some really cool stuff this week.
So I'm just super excited and grateful to be a part of this. So if you weren't here, I know Aztec was here, but if you weren't here, you got to hit me up. We have to make a plan. I need like a Twitch get together for all of our like peeps, you know?
That would be so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's all. That is my spiel of we need to see you all, because seeing Aztec in person and getting to know him outside of the chat box has been phenomenal. So that's my goal. Like even if it's just for next dev reach.
Yeah. Napalm.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yes,
Although
absolutely.
Aztec is like maybe gonna
Progress
Vegas.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. But also, I'm kind of getting like some like Nick at Night kind of vibes as well. Like,
I could see that.
Is okay, Nick at Night. I never had the channel. Is it like cooler cartoons? Or?
Yeah, that was like for teens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Nick at Night.
In the dark.
Yeah.
That's the stuff.
Come over here. Come say hi.
Yeah, you can't just holler things up. It's not
Yeah,
really
just
good.
call out the entire Nick at Night lineup.
This is Saul. See, another like Twitch presence who is also in person. We're gonna make it happen. We were talking with him about getting all the Twitch people together.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Because
That'd
like
be super.
having legs is great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been. You hesitated. It's been great. He's not.
Yeah.
He means it
Yeah.
truly.
I'm
from his-
yeah.
Yeah. No, I was cracking up. I think I was telling you this story. As I was checking into the hotel, I ran into Aztec.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he walked up, and he, of course, recognized me, and I did not recognize him. And he just walks up and he goes, "You're tall."
I think that means what you need to do at home is like have the camera down here.
And you
Just
start
to give people
angling.
the real,
Speaking
yeah,
of,
the
here
nose
he
shot.
is.
Hey,
Oh,
saying hi again.
yeah.
Bye, brother.
Bye, not ever.
No, we were talking about how we saw you in person. The first time I saw you, you came off the elevator and you were like waving at me fanatically, but you had this on.
Yep.
In
I was like-
your picture online, you have a VR headset on.
Yes.
So in no world have I ever seen the whole of your face.
Yes.
And I was like, what, do we know? Like I was just going with it. Like it was amazing. Oh, they finished!
Oh.
Yay! Hoppa! That was awesome.
Wow.
Thank you, Cindy, for that footage.
That was efficient.
Beautiful. I know that was
Yeah.
efficient.
When you've got a great team and everybody's working together, it was really smooth. And
Yeah.
everything was
Yeah.
teams from earlier had already gotten together and bundled everything up, so it was really easy just to go
Nice.
through, fill the
Nice.
bags, get everything ready, and get them out.
Oh, good.
It was good. I kept hearing my name while I was over there. I'm like, what are they talking about now?
Am I allowed to OPA? Sorry, you can go if you need to. We pulled you on and made you stay. Is OPA cool? Can I just throw that out there? I don't know. I always. Yeah. Am I
Drink.
great? Thank you so much. Perfect. Oh, my wordy girdy. So, for those of you who may or may not know, today is actually release day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
what's happening?
It's like so weird.
What was that?
It was fantastic.
I think
Yeah.
more people should do that.
Yeah,
Leave
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Leave up.
Yeah.
You want to do a creepy
Photo
entrance?
money.
Yeah.
Official Opa confirmation.
Oh, we have Opa is cool. Awesome.
Sorry.
Hey, this
Yay.
is Lebo and Maria. Say hello, everybody. Do you guys have Twitch handles that people would know you from?
Yeah.
No, me no.
That's your handle.
Maria's like backing away.
Yeah. Excuse me, I didn't sign up for this.
What's your handle?
Lebo, Lebo,
Mm-hmm.
Madise.
Madise.
One word. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, has it been a good time? You had a good time?
Yeah. Really great time.
Awesome. Thank you for coming, love. Sorry for I'm known for making people last minute come on stream, so it's my MO. So
Yeah, this is
And
part
now
of
it's-
part of the goal.
Now it's actually just physically pulling in people. Yeah, you make eye
No,
contact and
yeah,
pull them in.
it's like
yeah. It's not just dialing them and saying,
It's-
"Hey, can you join?"
all of that
Honestly.
staring into
Yeah.
the soul with the toasting, it's really paid off.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I've locked it in. So no, today is our release, which is amazing. Our teams have
Yeah.
worked super hard.
Yep.
Very proud of what we've accomplished this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, somebody just popped champagne.
Somebody just popped
on
the
the note
bubbly.
of release. Yeah.
Salt, I'm gonna need some of that. Oh my goodness.
I was trying to see if I could pull up our. This is all Sam. It's Telerik .net.
Bits.
Oh, yeah.
Call it bits.
Where's the cool stuff?
I think
Where's
if you,
Kendo
is there a
stuff?
banner if we just go to kendoui.com? Yeah, try
Yeah, or you
.com
can just
and then,
Yeah. I
register
know.
for the webinar as well.
and then
Yeah, sign up right there. Click there.
Yeah. Here we go. So I'm gonna do a little screen share.
sharing.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh.
You didn't bring me bubbly.
You had one job.
My bad.
You had literally one job. Oh my wordy girdy.
Oh, there we go.
You got it? Did you share?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see it.
Beautiful.
There we go. So yeah, here's what we got. Kendo UI R3 2022 release. You can tune in as always for our webinars. We will be going through every single piece of this, breaking it down for you. And there is some cool stuff. We got some
Oh, yeah.
really good
Might
stuff.
be too big.
Oh yeah.
Let me know if it's too big. If it's too big.
No, this looks
No, I
really
think it's fine.
I have a tendency for, not being able to read anything. So I walk over to Catherine and I'm like, you have that font size, huh? That's the one you chose. What are you at? You're at like a 10 pixel, aren't you?
Me?
Be
No,
honest.
I have to do a lot of screen share, so I'm usually at like 16 or 18.
Okay.
And
Maybe we'll-
I don't even change it when I'm doing coding for myself because I'm like, no, this is my life. Just
Truly-
get used to this because you're
Okay.
going to be sharing this ID.
I literally
and then-
identical stories, but
Yeah.
it was just because that was the size I'm comfortable with.
I
So like when I go to get on stream,
Yeah.
we're already as big as the stream.
Yeah. One time I remember having to do a live session where I was dual booting on a Mac, and when I
Oh.
plugged in, I was on Windows because I need to show off some .NET stuff. And when I plugged in the laptop, it went into 620 by 480.
dope.
Like that is
Yeah.
the max resolution that I
Oh my
had.
word.
And trying to like navigate through that resolution. Ever since then, I've been like, you know what? Let's just bump up the font size and let's just get used to that because you never know when the technology that you're
Yeah.
presenting with is going to do something funky like that.
All you can do is roll with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we like that one, or should we do like
It's,
This
that's
one,
fine.
this
I can
one,
just, I can hang
this
out behind.
one?
This one.
You can let me know, chat. Hey,
Oh,
Fuel!
man.
Oh my goodness,
Hey.
it's so good to see your faces in chat this morning or evening, whatever time it is for you.
Here you are. We're glad you're hanging out with us.
We're so happy to be here. Okay, I was gonna do something useful for a minute. What was I gonna do? It was
Talk about the
useful.
release?
Tell us who that
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
There was gonna be use happening. Okay, let me do this one because I think it'll be the biggest for this one, and I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. And all right, so release. I'm assuming the boys potentially covered
I don't know.
the Telerik bits that happened.
I consider that officially none of my business.
But we are here to talk a little bit about the Kendo UI side, which if you are new to the channel, welcome. We are Progress. We make tools for developers, and Catherine and I specialize on the front end of the web, I would say.
Yeah, on the JavaScript side.
The
Yeah.
JavaScript. You too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's,
Although you've dabbled.
yeah. So for a
You
while,
dabble as well.
for a while, I did cover all of our. Well, actually, when I was on the support side, I covered all of our products. So like WinForms, ASP.NET Classic, into
Man.
web forms, into MVC and JavaScript.
There
and
was just
even,
nothing
like,
you didn't do.
testing. Yeah.
Wow.
So now I've divested a little bit, and now I'm just reinvesting all my energy into just JavaScript. So,
Okay, I like it.
yeah. So
Yeah,
anything
yes.
web related JavaScript,
You are one of the most
there.
knowledgeable people I know. So I
Oh,
think you've got
thank
one of
you.
those brains. Like, do you
Thank
have
you.
the memory where you like take the picture and it's in your head? You have one of those.
No. I have to. There's a lot of work behind
There- you're
trying
like-
to pretend like I know.
There's
what
like
I'm doing.
there is effort. It is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
seamless.
there's
to track,
effort, yeah.
obviously.
And I sometimes I've been told that even if I'm just guessing at something, I sound confident. So I think it's
You
also
really
just,
do.
You do.
Yeah,
I
so
need to
that's
master
the
that.
Trick. That's the trick.
Because
Just
even when
pretend.
I'm confident, I often end it with like a.
yeah. So it's a blessing and a curse. Sometimes people just take me for too much of my word. I'm like, no, I was just
Oh, yeah,
I was
Yeah.
guessing.
Nick said, "What? You don't have a photographic memory? What's
No.
wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Step
No.
it up.
Step it up.
It's a lot of
Oh, my
note taking
word.
in order,
So,
in
I
order
mean,
for
well,
it to stick.
I did have to do this.
Oh, there you go.
So
yeah.
we had a lot of really cool things. I'm gonna cover a couple of Angular bits, and then
Please
we'll go
do.
into awesome. What they say? What happened?
It says you must be one of those 10x devs.
Yeah, can confirm. So Angular had a lot of cool, like not only 3 new components, but a ton of features, and we're going to be covering those in the release webinar. So join up; it's free.
Yeah,
it's free. See,
yeah, it's
see,
just,
I did it.
We're just sharing information.
I was like, I'm 99% sure we're not charging
We
for
do
this.
not charge you to hear about the products that we want you to buy.
Yes.
I'm like, are you making money on the webinar?
No.
Oh, I am on the side, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's my
your side hustle.
hustle.
You
Yeah.
see my personal
Yeah.
ads right up to the webinar.
Apologies. Please join for free.
Yeah.
For free. But we're going to be covering the new Fluent theme, which is across everybody.
Yeah.
Even Telerik.
Yes. So all of our web-based products received the Fluent theme, with the one exception being the ASP.NET Ajax components.
Okay.
That's
because we don't
the
love them
one.
anymore.
No.
Cool.
It's a
Okay.
whole different kettle of fish, but they've been around for so long. Yeah.
You're like, do not open the worms.
Yeah.
Not.
You
So
shut
the-
that down right
Exactly.
now.
The Fluent theme, as the name kind of gives away, it's covering the Fluent design system coming out from Microsoft. And we have that for our Vue components, our React components, our Angular components, jQuery, ASP.NET MVC, ASP.NET Core, and Blazor.
Okay, the
So
fact
that's
that you can do
8
that, because
products.
there's no phone. Show him no phone.
Yeah,
no
phone.
phone.
No phone.
He just did
Yeah.
that with his brain
Yeah.
in his mouth. It was amazing. Question, and I want you
Yeah.
to take this while you're here. Will the virtual classroom update with 2022 R3 changes?
Yes, so the virtual classroom, we kind of have a rolling cadence of updating it. So we do have some changes planned, and some of it will be covered. Some of the R3 specific features might be covered in there. What's nice about the virtual classroom is that it's not always tied into very specific features. So it should live a little bit longer, so we don't have to update it with every release. But we do tend to update it quite frequently. So you'll see some updates for the virtual classroom for sure.
I'm trying to get the sidebar out. I think we're just going to have to do like small or big. I don't know. We got to pick one.
What do you? Oh, the webinar sidebar.
Yeah. The sidebar. You know what I've done before?
Oh, just hitting it. Gone into like DevTools and hitting it.
Yeah.
I just deleted it. I'm like, bing,
Done.
out of the DOM. Sorry, that's rude of me. So the pivot grid's out of RTM.
Yes. Yes, it's finally V1 for all of those that need pivoting in their life. Yeah, and not from your startup idea, but actual data pivoting.
And we also have a new component of the drag and drop that I hear you use it anywhere.
Yeah, so it's a generic drag and drop component that's not tied to our specific Angular component. So you can wire that up to like plain HTML elements. So you can define elements that are draggable, areas that are droppable.
It's very
And then,
nice.
yeah, so like if you break that down to the individual HTML elements, that's cool. And then, of course, you can start using that in your other Angular components. So if you're using
Drag and drop,
Yeah.
get it? Dragon emoji.
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
I
That
like
is
that a
happening
lot,
in the
actually.
webinar. Watch for it, Fuel. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it happen. Oh
Wow.
my wordy girdy.
That's great. I have never seen that, and now I'm gonna steal
Yeah.
it
Drag it
for sure. Yeah.
I love where you're at.
Yo,
Where was this joke when Kendo React got drag and drop?
Hey, love Angular more. Oh, Danny Wald says great. Thank you guys. And Fuel was saying that sounds amazing. Awesome. You
Yeah.
guys are
It
so
is
sweet.
really, yeah. I mean, not to flex on you, but React has had it. So,
I know. She goes like whenever we were prepping for the web or the stream, she goes, "You don't have that yet," and I was like,
Yeah.
"I don't need this."
I hear you
React.
guys just got the pivot grid too. So
Ouch.
All right, what do you got going on? What's new in React land, madam?
we had a really cool update. So we have just one brand new component, but it's a good one, the signature component, which does not in fact mean just like a signature, scent or a signature look so much as a literal, your signature, your John Hancock can now be recorded through a Kendo React component to use to like sign legal documents and all sorts of very important things. Or just draw little pictures on, I guess,
Oh
take a
yeah,
pic.
Yeah, you can draw whatever you want to. Yeah, you can use a mouse or for
Yeah.
touch interfaces might be a little bit easier. I don't know if you've ever tried to like input your signature
It's
using
hard.
a mouse.
It's
yeah.
miserable.
Fraud it must just be so prevalent in any online forum. They're like, yeah, use your mouse to sign. No.
I was just laughing because Aztec said later to Napalm in the chat. He's right here. And it's just, I love it. The worlds are colliding.
Yeah.
Right? It's beautiful.
I didn't even notice.
You didn't even
I was
notice.
just like, yeah, Aztecs in chat, of course.
you didn't realize like and right there.
I
Like,
did not,
put the two together.
not at all. Oh man, yeah.
Sign up. Oh,
Yeah.
the release webinar.
But yeah,
The webinar.
we've got our signature component, which is lovely. And then we've also got just frankly, a bevy of new feature additions to components that we already
Good
have.
word.
Bugs that have getting fixed. The Kendo React is in the lovely position of now having well over 100 components. So we are starting to really refine and perfect what we've got, and it's a good place to be.
Yay!
It's a really happy place to be.
That's awesome. I was wanting to talk about something that actually spans both our worlds and maybe the Telerik world. I'm going to need clarification on that too. The theme builder.
Oh man, I'm excited for the theme builder.
Define it as in pre-today and then after today, please.
Yeah, so for those of you that use our component libraries might already be familiar with the existing theme builder, which is a web app that you could use to basically change the colors of the components that you were using. Oh yes, please pull it up. Thank you very much. It was a quick way to kind of reskin the components, so really good. Here, you want me to sign in? I think this is the new one. I've got temporary access.
I personally don't know any sign-ins ever. I was like, you can do that with your brain? Seriously, you know passwords in your head?
I clearly don't.
I was like, woo,
We'll
she's so
see.
smart. This is on top of life. Anyway, so the theme builder.
Got
Hey, shut up.
don't
Okay, show us.
Save it.
Yeah.
So this is the new theme builder. The old one was really effective if you were just looking to kind of change the colors of your components, kind of reskin quickly.
It's like an easy way to access the variables, I think.
Well, but really just the colors. It was very, very limited in its scope. I think you could change a border radius and you could change the colors in the existing theme builder.
Yeah.
Which was good if you were a dev that just needed to go in and like, yeah, you know what? Our brand color is green. We need components to be green.
Yeah.
Like done and done. But the theme builder pro is really here to be able to deep dive customize all of the components in a WYSIWYG format so that you don't have to touch the Sass if you don't want to. So I have an example here, of course. Of
I
course.
always want to touch the sass.
I do too. But for you people, I've walked through this and not touched any Sass at all.
I am terrified of Sass.
No, you won't touch it?
Yeah.
I was like, just give me the variables.
It's more.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, because our tools have made it so easy, and
Yeah.
a lot of our demos, I just get to either use the
skip
theme
right over
builder
that,
or
yeah.
I just, I do some minor tweaking.
Yeah.
I don't have the full confidence that you two have with going in and doing some
You guys
hardcore
don't
editing.
have-
Yeah.
This is interesting.
What's wrong?
The fonts are not all necessarily loaded. We're on the streaming computer, not on my personal laptop. And so some of the fonts, I was like, what is it all? There we go. This is close enough. We'll use a little Arial. But you can see right now, I'm making shifts to the typeface and it's applying all the way across all of my components.
What theme are we in right now? What's happening?
So this is
Are
a
we
theme.
in a default or something?
No. This is a theme that I've created. So
Oh,
those of you,
right. You've logged into your account. Everything's making sense now.
Yep. So those of you that have seen me demo some Kendo React stuff before, you might be familiar with my much beloved Star Trek LCARS theme.
Elgar.
great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said
Sounds sassy. Oh, the fun.
So my Kendo demo is all done in this Star Trek theme. It's meant to mimic the UI that's used.
But
on
you
the-
created
Love it,
that
love
in
it.
the old theme builder, and it's now here in the new one, or did
I
you
actually-
create over? What had happened?
When I created that the first time, I actually used our Figma Kits.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've done it in our Figma Kits, and now the first thing, of course, when I got access to this, I was like, I gotta do LCARS. I gotta get LCARS in here. So that's what I've done.
Are we sharing? Is our screen still sharing? Oh, we're not screen sharing.
Let's fix it. Sorry.
No! What had happened?
It's because Alyssa made the screen so small we can't see anything.
Oh,
we
the
changed
tab. The new tab's not sharing. That's bizarro.
That's my bad. We will fix it.
Are you sharing?
Sorry
Thank
for-
you, Alchemist. You're beautiful.
You
and we
saved
love
us.
you. And thank you. And I apologize.
All right.
Watch us get this.
I just wanted the window.
The window. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
so
Which one of these?
wise.
There we
It's
go.
gonna be
I
that.
got it.
Oh,
All right.
yes.
Here we go. And I'm gonna leave this just wide enough that we can keep an eye
You
on.
gotta change fonts again. They didn't see it.
Oh yeah.
I'm
that's right.
sorry about that. I didn't realize.
Yeah. No.
That's
So,
okay. So demo gods.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
how it
there
works.
was
Fine
no
thing.
goat sacrifice this morning.
Yeah, that's right. I did it.
I forgot.
It
Yeah.
wasn't.
That's why.
That's why.
I ran out of goats.
Straight up out of goats. I went to the Starbucks, they had nothing.
No
I was like,
goats.
you goat? They were
Goat
like,
free.
no goat.
No
Yeah,
goat.
it was a goat.
But no, so I've got yeah, I was gonna see. I don't think I have the whole address memorized. I have my Kendo demo app up on the GitHub pages
Oh,
thing
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna pull it up, but I don't actually remember the URL.
Here,
So,
this one though, when you were changing, everything's live updating, and you have. Do you
Yeah.
have all the components in this one, or just a select few?
No, you can see every single one of our components in this live preview,
And-
and all of them are interactable. You can click and see what things look like.
But
when
you were saying
hover, when
with
you
the
expand.
new theme builder that you can do more than just color. Can you show us
Oh,
something that you couldn't change before?
for sure. So let's see. We tab over into this advanced edit section,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
We click on one of these,
Oh.
and all of a sudden, we can see this whole breakdown. This is every single state of the button component.
That's a lot of whiz biz.
It's a lot. And you can see up here, right? It's breaking it down. You got the button object and then the text.
And these
right,
are
that's
all the
inside it.
properties that are predefined on those?
Yes.
Shut the front door.
So you can open every single one of these, right? And you can see I've got all my colors defined
Oh my word.
in all
Those
these little
variables.
variables.
Yeah.
And if I was like, you know what, actually, I want my button to be this. You know, I want the text background to be this color. You can see it. It's not particularly
Wait a
cute.
minute. Wait. This works for everything, Carl? Carl!
Yes, it works for everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
jQuery.
Oh,
Blazor.
if you're talking about products, so
I'm
right
talking
now.
about components. It works for everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
For components,
sorry.
it works for a lot of our components. For the products, right now, today,
Yeah.
this works for Angular,
Yeah.
for React, for
Uh-huh.
Vue,
Yes.
and for Blazor.
Oh.
jQuery,
Oh,
MVC,
my
and Core.
favorite.
Yeah, jQury, MVC, and Core will be getting these updates a little bit in the future.
Yeah.
They just have so many components, and we also, by the way, this theme builder has existed for quite some time. So this is kind of a. We've been listening to a lot of feedback from folks,
That's
and
exciting.
we've been able to add that in and kind of actually rebuild the theme builder from the ground up. So jQuery, MVC, and Core just need a little bit more time. But if you're on the Angular side or on the JavaScript side for React and Vue as well, you're good to go.
Will you grab Eve for me? She is ponytail white shirt. Ponytail white shirt.
Yeah. So you can see here and now I'm making some very unflattering, mostly changes to my button, right? I've changed some colors, I've changed some padding. I'm messing with all of our stuff. Yeah, let's see some effects.
So Alchemist said, can you target specific browser versions for testing purposes?
Right now, we don't have like a browser emulator that's built into the theme builder. However, you can, and that's a little bit more work. You can open the theme builder in every different browser. And this will, because the other part of this that's really cool, right, is that you can share. So, you know, many hands makes light work, right? If there's a whole component library that I need to retheme, it takes a minute. But I could share this link, right? I can use this little icon guy to share it with a teammate.
The release is live.
Oh, we just got
We're
it.
live! Cheers! We're live. I have got people looking lost in the audience. We're live. It just went live.
You can
Our
use
release
The release
is
went
live.
our 3 releases.
Don't be
2022 is
scared.
here.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
They're not scared. It's fine. They're totally fine. So we actually are out of time. We got to wrap. It's for the next segment.
It's true.
But will you sign out and then we can pass it off?
Yes.
I don't want anybody messing up your L cards.
Yeah.
Oh, not any more than I just messed up.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We've got Eve and Andy coming on to talk to you for another 30. And if you've been with us throughout this whole dev reach, I just want to thank you. You've been really beautiful, chat. So,
Yep.
mwah. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
I'm going this way. I'm going this way. And like,
So it's hard to come in after all that hoopla, right? I mean, the cheering and the hurrah,
This is insane.
right?
It's still
So-
really hot over here from this fresh release. I mean, it's like
I mean,
fresh bread.
Good timing for us, though.
Yeah.
We can hop right in and be like, the release is live. Grab your bits, all those
Yeah.
exciting things.
Bring it down, hot off the presses. I mean, I'm looking at release notes right here. It's looking pretty.
Yeah. So I think we're following the Kendo UI release, right?
Right, yeah.
Catherine and Alyssa before us. So we're here to bring you a couple different flavors for
Yeah.
the release. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Fiddler. What are you going to talk about, Andy?
I'm going to talk about some Test Studio,
Nice.
our test automation software.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, there's a little tidbit in there about MAUI.
Ooh, what's that? Go on. What's the tidbit?
Well, the tidbit that we have coming out today, our biggest news, if you don't mind, I guess, leading with Test
No,
Studio.
let's lead. Go.
Okay, well, biggest news of the release for Test Studio is we have really expanded and released officially our desktop test automation. So where we have been formerly web and NWPF for years, we had a little bit of a gap with WinForms and with other desktop technologies that we have now closed as of today. Full desktop support for test automation.
Okay, I think that deserves a round of applause. Get the studio audience out there.
Thank
Whoa, Test Studio!
Yeah, I know, pretty wild, right? Which also translates into desktop MAUI applications. That's where MAUI comes into this.
Okay, now I see the connection.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we already support the web and everything else. So
that is some big news.
that is big news.
Yeah. So
what do you got?
well, I feel like if you guys tuned in yesterday, Andy and I were on together and we had props and everything. And right now I'm feeling like
I know.
I'm feeling like my hands are
Here, hold this.
right. I mean, that looks kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But like
Just a roll of pink tape, folks.
just hand it by. But in terms of Fiddler, we have two products that released. We have Fiddler Everywhere, and some big things with that are the Apple Silicon chip support.
Yes.
So those are for the Mac users. Extended offline support. So even if you don't have an internet connection, you can still use a lot of the functionalities that don't require that cloud access without being forcefully logged out.
That's
a really big one. Another one is be able to skip domains within like a bypass list within the settings. So lots of times when you're doing a mobile traffic, you need to bypass the Apple Store. You can put those domains in, and Fiddler will not replace the HTTP certificate.
I didn't hear that. One's new to me. I didn't hear that.
Yep.
Surprises everywhere.
Surprise.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
And then kind of exciting on the Fiddler Jam side, which is the remote troubleshooting, we now have an embedded option. I don't know if we talked about this yesterday.
I don't think we did.
But it's a JavaScript library that you can embed into your application to allow your end users to report issues using the Chrome extension.
Nice.
And all it requires is 3 lines of JavaScript code.
Yeah. Okay. I
Right.
think
So just like a little snippet, and you're good to go. You have all that baked right in.
That's incredible. And then for those that haven't heard what Fiddler Jam is, tell us a little bit about it. That's a newer product.
Yes.
And maybe people don't know.
Yeah, good point. So, it does under the Fiddler family of products, however, is a very distinct product. It can work, it is complementary to Fiddler Everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They can work together. However, Fiddler Jam supports a different use case. Right? It's for those customer support professionals who are working with customers and end users to report their issues that are happening on their machine. Instead of having to download software or do those go-to-meeting calls or those back and forth email exchanges, you can send them to the Chrome store. They download the extension. They can capture everything with video, logs. That's newer too, since we probably last talked. And send it back, and you get all the information right in the portal about this. And you can either be that first line of defense if you need to and replicate the issue, like, okay, here's the situation. Or if you need to further escalate it to your development team, that's where you can share it within Fiddler Everywhere right to the team, and they can get right to the issue.
That's incredible. I think, from a debugging and a QA kind of standpoint, which we really represent, I think from our corner of the products of the DevTools product stack, it's always difficult to catch that moment of failure. Sometimes those tricky little issues that can't quite figure out why or how they're popping up. And I think Fiddler Jam does a great job of being able to, at that moment, let you catch it and get
exactly what's happening, what was happening in the background, what were all the service calls, what all those little things that are hard to replicate. Or what's that saying? It didn't happen on my machine.
Yeah, not my problem.
Or these are all the steps I followed, but then maybe 4 were left out.
I think couldn't replicate it. Is sometimes a really bad way to end a support issue. Right.
So you're never going to miss a detail.
Right.
There's never going to be like, well, what if? Like the whole story's there for you.
That's great. That's incredible.
That's just one of the big things. And then I know we're going to share more in terms of showing you these bits next Friday. We have the productivity webinar. It's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if you're on that, or is it Rick from your team who's doing that?
I know that I'll be doing a release webinar. I think next Monday.
Next Sunday? Okay. Oh, the Test Studio one is Monday.
Yes.
Okay. So then Friday will be the more productivity.
Yeah. So more demonstration of the new bits, right? So if you want to come back and see us actually work with these new features and see them for yourself. Of course, you can download it right now. You can go get your trials or go get the new versions if you already have a license from our Telerik.com support site and try it yourself. Or if you're new and you're not into the Telerik ecosystem yet, you can go get yourself a Telerik account and start today. Just get whatever you want, play with everything. We got a lot of online demos too for the controls, but for our productivity tools, those are a great addition to hopefully the tool set you're already using today.
So I was going to say, now what's the trial length for like the reporting or test studio?
That's a good question. It's a little different, right?
I think so. It's a little different than what it is for Fiddler.
For Test Studio, it is a 30-day trial. Okay. And I believe that's the same for the components as well.
Okay. So on the Fiddler Everywhere, we have the 10-day trial, and Fiddler Jam is the 14. So that's a great way to test out the components. You get to see the value, very quickly, and how you can integrate them into your workflow before you have to, make that commitment.
Yeah, and actually, good point to make, since we're talking about support with respect to Fiddler Jam, you get access to our support even during a trial. So if you want to, we always tell people that, trial not only our software, but trial our support too. Go ahead and submit tickets, interact with those folks. A lot of times when you submit a ticket, you're interacting with potentially the actual developers who built the product. So you have access directly to that throughout the whole life cycle of our stack, really.
Yeah. And that should be part of your evaluation. I even know our developers who are using software, outside of the development space, they're testing support. Whether they're doing a video sharing service or they're using some kind of writing editor, they pay attention to what the support is, because that should be part of your evaluation. Like, how responsive are they? How well they resolve your concern.
Right. So, and I mean, in an ideal world, support's not needed because everything works. But come on, we know the reality, But it's an important factor, and it's a big factor too when people talk about open source versus commercial product. Yes. If you're going to buy a commercial product, you better expect commercial level support as well, enterprise level support as well, and that's something that we've done really well over the years and are known for is our top-notch support.
I agree. That's great. And we hear that testament at events like these. Andy and I travel to different parts within the U.S. Most recently, I was in Kansas City, and you were in Texas.
I don't even know where. Oh yeah, I was in Texas, and I'll be in Disneyland next month.
Okay. So we get to see people who are using our controls, and we get to hear back, what their
Mickey Mouse
experiences are. That's all you need to know. Mickey Mouse uses the controls, right?
Is that open source now?
No. But yeah, so it's been an exciting time. For those of you who are just tuning in, all of the sessions are going to be available to you on demand. If they're not up there now, they will be up there shortly. We've had some amazing keynotes for the last 2 days. We've had our expo halls. We've had to have some good conversations along with the talks. And we've had some great speakers come in from all over the world.
Good. It's been really good. I mean, I wish I could have gone to every session, but I was at some points kind of trying to get into half a session and then another half at the same time. I wish I could do it all again. And actually you can, because everything has been virtualized, recorded. And you can, if you miss something, you can go back and you can watch.
And that is nice. I mean, we were fortunate enough that we were able to come to Boston, but for other people, this may not have been in the cards for you. Something else came up, or you had other responsibilities, or it just wasn't a good time for you to travel, and we get that. And that's why we don't want you to miss out. That's why this information will continue to live on. And I think you're going to be impressed when you see some of the speakers and just the amount of knowledge transfer that you can accumulate by just even watching a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, the brain power that we had collected here this week is just off the charts. I mean, it's amazing. It's exciting to be able to just have conversations with some of these folks that just know so much about these applications, how to build applications, how to bring them to life. And I'm looking at the chat over here. It's alive, as Tech Consulting says. It's alive. That's awesome. Everything's live now. Go test it out. Go check out the release notes. And like I said, get started if you haven't. Go get your trials or even buy a license. You can buy licenses online if you want to.
True. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And one nice thing, too, about being at this event is we talk a lot about, the technical skills, but we've done a lot of talks around the soft skills part, too.
Yeah.
From interviewing to kind of your mindset. And I think it just gives you a real holistic takeaway of, coding is part of your job and building those great applications. You got to take care of yourself, right? Mentally, physically, and then how do you get there if maybe things start to get out of control? And it's going to happen. Everybody gets overwhelmed.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, especially at the beginning of a project, you know, if you're into greenfield development, things like that, there's a bunch of question marks. It's exciting and it's nerve-wracking at the same time. And like you said, I think a lot of the knowledge sharing that we see from the folks this week, it gives you that kind of calm or that peace that, like, wow, okay, they seem comfortable. They seem to be able to convey the ability to do this and have been successful at it. And it's really encouraging. But I also think giving you that mindset of like, okay, now I know better how to maybe plan going into this and what tools I'm going to need along the way. And that's really, I think, what we're all about is making it a lot easier to build and develop and get your customers a really rich experience. And then also, of course, keep that going, keep that running, keep it growing, and get, likes and thumbs ups and shares and, grow your customer base. And we'd love to be that company, kind of the company behind the company that helps build these applications for customers.
Yeah, we're here to cheer you on. We know you have obstacles to overcome when it's tight deadlines, doing more with less. And I mean, we have dedicated developers, architects, program managers, project managers, and this is what their sole focus is.
Yeah.
It's these developer productivity tools. And that's what this release is all about in terms of releasing new controls or feature enhancements. And a lot of it's user driven. I think we've talked to a lot of these team members who have come on throughout the show, but they really take that feedback and put it to work.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, there's also, talking about kind of that getting started and all the question marks and the anxiety that goes with that. We also have an awesome ecosystem of partners. So I've seen this more and more recently with our customers where they love what we have and they obviously want to get to the finish line as quick as possible so that they can have that application out to their user base. And we've done a lot of work recently, especially to help our customers get there through our partnerships with other resellers and so forth and integrators. So it's not just us. We have this awesome following in the community that's helping not only us, but helping our customers too. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a good distinction or a good point to make. And then you get part of that community, right? I think that's why you have a lot of attendees here who are not Progress employees because they appreciate this kind of community.
Yeah.
You thrive from people. You hear people's similar experiences or similar situations and how they got the keynote yesterday. Billy Hollis has been since 1973. Right? There's a lot that we can learn from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he sells relevant advice for today.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. Let's learn from some of his experiences. What worked, what didn't. And it just, it's very hopeful.
Absolutely. The keynotes have been great. Everything. Boston's been good to us this week. The sun is out today. The weather's cooling off. It's kind of like release day, I think.
Right?
I think this weather came with the release.
Oh,
yeah.
To be.
Yeah.
It's the universe name. It's working.
Yep. So what other big news do you have out today? I'm checking some release notes here.
I mean, in terms of release, I shared some of the big things, of course. There are some smaller enhancements in terms of different layouts, as well as some comparing session traffic. But then you can't really see this, but in the background, we're doing some community effort today too for local Boston. Nope. So we had Mimosas for Mission this morning, where we had attendees, employees come down here, and there were, I think, 4 different local. Not higher education, but educational, yes, K through 12. I think there's an elementary school, an after school program, a middle school and a high school. And Progress and a lot of our partners came together to donate supplies, backpacks, iPads for, kids that may be underserved within the community.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a great way to see everybody come together for a good cause because children are the future, right? And we want to ensure that they're equipped and they have the confidence to do the best work they can in school and to not have them worry about things along those lines.
Yeah, it actually just reminded me of the, earlier in the week when Yogesh had his keynote and talked to the women in STEM who have earned the scholarship from Progress. I mean, it really just, if you watched that keynote and you've seen Yogesh talk more than once, I'm sure you've seen this theme of, that we have at Progress, really engaging the community and really staying on top of what's important to the world as things change. We've been really adaptable, really fluid, and I think just having that open mind and having the team that we have at the top, from the C level all the way through our organization, it's really awesome to see that. We're not here just for ourselves. We're here to help everyone. Whether you're building applications or whether we're helping to build actual communities or helping in those schools, those are the things that we really take pride in.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel, you said, prideful to be part of that, right? Giving back. We try to do things on our own, but when you come together as a collective group, you can accomplish so much more.
Absolutely.
Right? You and I are going to, it'd be quite a feat for you and I to raise $25,000 to give to one organization.
Yeah.
I mean, if we did that, sure, that'd be amazing, but
I'm kind of liking that as a challenge, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we should do that.
Maybe? Okay.
I don't know.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll figure something out. Do you have any questions in the chat?
Here's a question. Can you target specific browser versions for testing purposes? Actually, I really like that question. It's like somebody set that up. Optimus 1206. Thank you for that question. So for Test Studio, we do automate on different browser versions. We still support IE because some of our customers need it still.
Okay, good to know.
But we also support, Firefox, Chrome, Edge. We're usually ready with a 0-day support as the browsers come out with changes. We've introduced extension-based automation and tooling, as well as extension lists, so that either way you have that technology. But when it comes to the versioning, you certainly can target different versions of your browsers. And in our testing, you could specifically you could specifically change the test steps properties to work with a specific browser version. Generally speaking, those test steps are all set to work with all browsers out of the box. So one test for all browsers, but if you needed something specific for a specific browser version, you always have that ability to do that as well. And one other thing I wanted to add, Test Studio has support specifically with our own controls in mind. We, of course, can work with anything web and now desktop applications. But when it comes to working with Telerik controls, if you've got Kendo grids and drop downs and things like that, we work with those really, really well because we built translators for those. And one thing that we added, actually, I think 2 releases ago, was the ability to have specific versioning for the components. So let's say you're still on R2 of 2022 for your application. You can actually set that in Test Studio and say, hey, I'm using this version of these controls. And that way the right translators know what to do with that version. So we have versioning even built in at that level as well.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah, I know.
That was good.
Great question.
Yeah, you asked the question to the right person too. If I was on here by myself, I would not have been able to give them all of that insight that we just did.
It just comes out, all of a sudden the question comes and the answers are there.
He dreams about testing.
It's weird. Yeah. I'm actually automating right now.
Yes, you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it you said your kids think that you do?
They think I don't work because they watch my applications being automated, and they think that I don't have to actually work because it's all just doing it by itself.
Right?
Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday too in the keynote. Billy said, how many people here does their mom know what they do?
Yeah.
I think one person raised their hand.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's nice to be around people that you can talk to about the thing that you spend a majority of your waking hours doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not going up to my friends at the softball game talking about network debugging. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think people will probably try to find a way to
they'd be like,
skirt away from me. So when you come here, I mean, everyone you talk to has a different story, but yeah, you can relate it, to something you've done. Maybe I'm in the testing side, but I know some about like the React and the Kendo, or I can talk about WPF or WinForms with other people who get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just such a learning opportunity here too. Right? So if there's things you don't know, everybody there. I mean, there's someone here that those questions can be answered. So these events, I think, are really, really great to get everybody together, get the brain power in the room, and get your answers.
Well, so one of the events sessions I went to was about like machine learning with AWS. That is something I don't know anything about.
That's pretty insane.
I was trying to take in as much as I could. The gentleman who did the talk was a data scientist. Again,
way over my head.
Yes, but I'm just amazed by the different things that you can how they fit together. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of work to do. Don't put any questions in about machine learning with AWS.
No data
but
science.
Yeah, no. Save that for somebody else. Maybe follow up. People who are following us. I'm not sure who that is yet, but they might.
Yeah,
be.
ask them. Ask
Ask
that
them.
is.
Right. So in terms of the release, what was the one thing that you're most excited about, or like you couldn't wait to share?
Oh, so okay. So we had our desktop testing come out kind of as a quiet release prior to this main release. So it was in beta, and the first thing I did when I got desktop testing was automate Excel. I don't know why.
Excel. Okay, how does that work?
I mean, you just basically point it at the application, you hit record, and you could go in there and just do what you do in Excel, and it captures all of that stuff. And then you can hit execute and watch it redo everything you've just done. I don't know why I was so excited. I was like, this is going to be, in my mind, it's like this has always been a challenge when you wanted to interact with Excel. And obviously when you have a very complex control set like that, where there's all sorts of endless rows and grids and so forth. But yeah, it was great. It was seamless. I was just elated. There were things that I used to have to do through code, which is not a problem with Test Studio. You can always code if you have to in C# or VB.NET. But we try to make things as codeless as possible. So as soon as I was able to test out some things in Excel, there was about 4 or 5 tests I already realized, like I used to have some code in that I could actually go and swap that out for a codeless test at that point. So pretty awesome.
That is cool.
Yeah. And reducing the code around testing reduces the headache of maintaining those tests.
Well, that's a good point. The whole maintaining.
Yeah.
That's a whole.
I guess we kind of focus a lot on maintenance. I guess back to you on the Fiddler release.
Well, I mean, I've been streaming, I feel like all week, so I wonder. I'm trying to get all the fresh perspectives in here. In terms of Fiddler, I think one most things am excited about would be, like I said, the extended offense.
Yeah.
So Rosen, who is one of the managers on the engineering team for Fiddler, was doing his debugging work on the plane, which he's dedicated.
Oh yeah.
Right. But before he wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
You would have required that internet access, or and without that, he was still able to be productive. Yeah, with any services that didn't connect to the server. So I think that's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. That's really cool.
And just those continuous little improvements. Like I said, for the Mac users, now you can pick your download, right? If you're Intel or Apple Silicon, it's going to help with your performance issues. It's going to help just increase your productivity overall. That's really what it's about. But I mean, there's so many things. That's one thing I've been enjoying, is that it's never a dull moment, right? In terms of releases, we have these big releases, but I think one thing to realize is that it doesn't mean we're not releasing things in between.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, we often have, in fact, in the testing world, we do internal builds, which if you're concerned about like new browser features that come out when you're working with different browsers. Like I said earlier, we usually do have 0-day support, because we usually do get preview access to those changes, and we're able to adjust our application to meet those needs by day 0, and that release comes GA. And in between, we keep putting those out. So as the browsers are changing, we're putting out releases in between. You get those, they go live, you can have them, or you can choose to wait till today when you have a major release that rolls all those internal builds up into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always things going behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There's always improvements happening. I think, what was it, in Blazor, they introduced a whole bunch of new controls in this release.
Yeah.
Right?
Tons of controls.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the list was already impressive before this release, but I think they just took it, to that next level, which is fun to see
at this point. I mean, really, who else can top that, I guess?
And I've had more and more conversations lately.
Yeah.
Some events about some of Blazor, and I know the Maui was real popular on earlier streams, and there was a workshop this week too.
Yeah.
So it's fun to see some of those. I go back to, I started off in the WinForms days, so to just see the progression and the excitement around new ones makes my job interesting.
Yeah, and I love that. That's another aspect of our company that's really exciting. Not only do we have a focus and a pulse on what's going on in the world and how we can better the society, but we're also keeping that focus on continuously improving, continuously deploying, and making sure that we're supporting what our customers need, and we're supporting their customers as well.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right, when it comes down to it, We're here to help you deliver those accessible solutions, high quality code, and delight your end users.
Yeah. And seeing something like Maui come out, it's just another exciting moment where it's like, hey, not only are we cutting edge, we're bleeding edge. We're actually leading, and actually we're partnering even with customers of ours to build controls that they need. So like Eve said earlier, we really do respond and listen to the customer needs, bring them into the conversations, bring our developer relations in, bring in our dev team, and basically get all those people to the table and say, what is not working? Where are the gaps? What can we do for you to make this even better? And I think that's been a really winning combination for us.
I agree. And I know we've covered a lot in terms of the release and the highlights, but for each product, there are release notes that are live on the website. And then there also a release log that really just dives into it, and talks about it at the feature level, but also the benefit to you.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's important. So you see, okay, it does this. Why should I care? What does that mean to me?
What does that mean to me? Yeah.
Right.
What's in it for me?
It's all in there. And I think you're going to be impressed when you see that lineup. And we're talking, every product along, over the Telerik umbrella. Release day. So
and this is kind of a milestone. I think this might be, I'd have to go back and double check, somebody double check me on this, fact check me on this.
Okay.
But I think this might be the first time we've actually had the Test Studio release in line with the full DevTools release.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, in previous years they were staggered slightly.
Okay.
We had a slightly different cadence of delivery, and we finally said, you know what are we doing? Why don't we get all this on the same page? And so here we are. Today's like the day where Test Studio gets to be a part of this big party with the rest of the product stack as well.
That's great. I mean, the amplification's huge. The fact that it coincides, with DevRage and Progress360, I think is probably not by accident, but I think I love the opportunity to be here live.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned, next week we'll be having the more in-depth webinars, so you'll be able to see the bits. We're going to walk through the features, show you hands-on, live action demos to really help you hone in on what are those from the release. What are the ones that are going to make the most sense for you? And maybe if you were evaluating some of our products and you hadn't made that decision yet, or you're waiting on something in particular, there's a good chance that it's not live.
Yeah, make sure you go get those updates and pull down the latest bits. I mean, you don't even have to wait for us in the webinars. But,
no, you don't.
Go ahead and go try it out and get things going. But definitely tune in. We'd love to have as many people on next week to see that.
Yeah.
I know that we're already expecting a pretty big crowd, so virtually, I think, in that case.
Yes, virtually.
In this case, here this week, it's been great to have both virtual as well as in person. Really refreshing to have a show like this.
Yeah. No, we're grateful to be here. Grateful to bring you this news. Thankful for everyone who's tuning in, who's made everything possible.
Definitely, yeah.
Any closing words you have for the audience?
No, I'm just checking the comments here. It looks like a little bit of activity, but there was one up here on top that's pretty lengthy. Let me see if I can get this mouse to come back to life. We have a little bit of a battery issue. No, it doesn't want to work. But I'm seeing the top. It says Telerik.net desktop, web, and desktop reporting.
Which is like a product listing.
Just a big product listing. Yeah, sorry. So but yeah, as far as final words from my end, thank you for tuning in. First of all, thank you for those that were able to attend at least virtually, if not in person, in addition. And like you, I'm just very thankful and grateful that we have this opportunity to be here and to be a part of the release.
Yep. Okay, so I like to sign off. I don't like to say goodbye, right? That seems like permanent. So so long. Till next time.
So long. Talk to you later.
Yeah. Right.
Ta for now.
Okay. Now he's getting crazy. Okay. We will see everyone later. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
We have a little technical issue. So we do this.
Come on.
I can help. Hello and good night.